Hey everyone, this is Jennifer Sanchez. You are listening to the Wise Coffee Chat Show on WRMN 1410. What did I just say? WRMN 1410. And also on Wise Coffee Chat Show on the social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. So definitely super excited to be here this morning with my guest, Carlos Medina. And before I bring him on so he could introduce himself, who am I? My name is Jennifer Sanchez. I'm the founder of the Wise Alliance Network, as well as now the author of Wise Women Empower Women. Super excited about that. That was it's still an amazing experience. So if you guys want your copy of the book, go to Amazon.com and look up Wise Women Empower Women. And then, of course, I'm a mom of 3 beautiful girls, so I always got to give them a shout out. And a recent high school graduate. I'm finally, I don't want to say I'm done with one, but you know, at least I did everything in my power to get
I thought you just got your GED. I was like,
no. She got her high school diploma. She graduated yesterday, so super proud, Mom.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But now I'll pass it over to my guest. So can you introduce yourself to the listeners?
Sure. Well, first of all, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here at Illinois Media School, my alma mater. My name is Carlos Medina. I'm just a regular guy that does creative stuff.
A regular guy that does creative stuff?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
You know, it's I got to really fine tune like a niche.
Sure.
But pretty much do everything. So I have a studio. I have a studio in River North, Fabre Studios. And by me doing everything, that means that, I do everything from gaffing to lighting, producing, directing, audio, camera setup,
you do
technical
it all.
Support.
I mean, you have a team, but you're the main.
Well, yeah, I have to learn how to do everything so I can kind of show, what's going on.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you are a creative guy.
Creative guy, do photography, drawing.
Wow.
A little bit of everything.
Nice. So, before we go into your spiel and your story, you're drinking coffee.
Well, yes.
That's what we provided. We provided.
All we need is the concha. I
know.
False advertising.
You know what? That would be great to have conchas, but then I thought it would be so messy and so dirt. Like, can you imagine going on the show and then eating like conchas?
Yeah.
It would be very.
No problems imagining that right
you
now.
Have. Okay. So what kind of coffee do you like to drink? What's your favorite go-to coffee? Since this is a coffee chat show, I like to ask that question.
Yeah. I mean, believe it or not, I'm not that big of a coffee drinker.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'll go for, since they didn't pay for a sponsorship, I won't mention their name, but I have an app that lets me pay $1 for a large coffee. So I try to maximize that, But if I had a choice, and when I'm out, I love café de olla.
A café de olla. Okay, I was hoping you were gonna say that. I was like, he has to say that. You're Mexican. No,
right.
Just joking. Not everyone, but café de olla. For those that don't know, it's basically like a cinnamon coffee, I guess. Right? We would say that with brown sugar.
I don't know how they make it.
Okay.
But it's delicious.
Yeah, it's basically brown sugar and cinnamon. So and I think some people might put orange peels in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if they make it from like in Mexico, like the old school way. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the fact that I don't have to put anything in it. Like, it's just ready to go.
Oh, okay. Well, that's because I guess you're a guy. I guess someone has to make it. Someone has to prepare it. You're like, it's just ready to go here. No, someone made that.
Yes, and I appreciate whoever makes that coffee.
That's awesome. So you like, it was funny, before we went on air, for those that are listening, we were talking about the coffee, the favorite go-to coffee. Mm-hmm. And you said, we could say it, I don't care, McDonald's, right? You said you like McDonald's. And I said, I only like cold coffee, cold iced coffee, or iced coffee from McDonald's, just plain. And you were like, you're weird. So,
well, the way you said it, you said you like cold coffee, not iced coffee, cold coffee.
Cold coffee, yeah. Because sometimes I do that because in any restaurant, I really ask for light ice or no ice, because I feel like they just take advantage of that and they don't give you enough of the drink.
Right.
So I say light ice, right? So that makes sense. But then you guys made me feel weird. All of you guys made me feel weird this morning. Like, is that a weird thing? Like, do I have a little quirk to myself? Yes, I see Marcel saying yes over there. I'm a little quirky, but it's all right. So how did you fall into the creative world? How about let's do that? Because it just seems like, especially working here at Illinois Media School, working with these students, just being in media, you're around creatives all the time. How did you personally fall into this world of creativity?
Well, I mean, I've always had that creative bug. My dad, he's an airbrush artist. Oh. So he was airbrushing when I was, 10, 11 years old. He was airbrushing cars. He was doing portraits, murals. He was doing a lot of those things. So I learned how to airbrush when I was like 12, 13 years old. And in high school, back in the 90s, at the turn of the century, we used to do airbrush was big, right?
Yeah, so, that was pretty cool. Like on the lowriders and stuff like that.
Lowriders, t-shirt. Well, in high school, I made all my money doing like airbrush T-shirts with like Tweety and like.
I remember those shirts, and then like all the girls wanted like their name on the like airbrushed on the shirt. Right. So you used to make those. I made
every weekend. So that's how I made all my money. I mean, dozens and dozens of dollars.
Someone in high school, that was the thing. Yeah. I remember that was the thing to get. I completely forgot about those shirts.
We used to, all the girls, I used to go throughout the week. I would get orders, it would be like Marcela y Payaso or something like that.
Wow, the gangbanger ones.
All of those.
The cultured ones. I should say cultured. It's culture.
But yeah, so, and then in high school, I actually took 4 years of photography. Okay. So, and then when I went to, I ended up going to Triton College for graphic arts, and I was always like in the creative field. Sure. But I ended up getting a job at AT&T and selling cell phones, and then I gotta check with a comma in it for the first time in my life.
Oh, you were like, oh, this works.
I was like, oh, this is nice. Oh,
this is cool.
This is real nice.
That's nice.
So, I stayed at AT&T. I was in telecommunications for almost 20 years.
What high school did you go? I know you told me this, but for the listeners, what high school did you go to?
I went to Morton East High School in Cicero.
Morton East High School in Cicero. Mm-hmm. So, that's actually, what's your mascot? There's a horse, no?
It's a Mustang.
That's a Mustang. Okay.
Go Stangs.
Yeah. I knew it was something like that. So, now you did all the airbrushing. Mm-hmm. Your dad, that's where you got it from your father, which is actually pretty cool. You went to Triton College, you said, right? And you start picking up graphic design.
During that time, for those of you that were around, there was the whole .com era. It was like when the internet really first started going to e-commerce. Uh-huh. I wanted to. I did everything in my power to avoid math classes. Okay. So I decided to do graphic design because I wanted to get my my degree so I can start working at there was a bunch of these like .com companies like out in Schaumburg.
Okay.
So I was about to graduate. I started doing all these interviews, and the one job that I did get, when I went for my first day, the building was empty. So there was it was called the .com bubble. It had bursted, and all these companies lost all this money, and like the industry just.
Wow.
It lasted about a year, a year and a half or two.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I wasn't aware about the dot. Yeah,
it was like there was like toys.com, books.com. There was all these .coms that were popping out because the internet was relatively new. Yeah. So I wanted to get into that industry, and it wasn't for me. So when I got it started off as a part-time job, but by the time I realized how easy it was for me anyway, to sell cell phones at that time. Everybody wanted one. I was a store manager. I got promoted to store manager by the time I was like 22, 23.
Oh, wow.
I was one of the youngest store managers for AT&T. And then, I did that for about 8 years, went into straight corporate. So I did sales trainings, district manager, enterprise sales, business sales, B2B, all that.
So when you were selling phones, you were selling like the block phones, or you were already selling like? No. This is an honest question because I'm trying to think. Because I love phones. Don't get me wrong. Like I think phones are great. there's so much to this technology now, right? When we have phones, we could do so much on them, right? We're always connected. You always have access to people, and there's benefits to phones. But prior to that, there were simpler times.
There was, yeah,
when phones were simple.
So I remember the focus was when we started selling text messaging packages for like $4.99 for like $100, or you can get data packages, like a gigabyte for like $10 a month.
Yeah, I remember.
Then you have to try to explain to somebody why they wanted the internet on their phone.
Yeah,
this really slow internet. It's amazing, But as it kind of progressed, I remember the year the iPhone came out. And for those of you that don't remember, the first iPhone was a 2G iPhone that could not send picture messages.
Oh,
it was all, yeah. So I got to see the evolution of the phones. That was actually kind of cool. Now that I look back on it, because I used to rock the Blackberries, and
I remember the Blackberry, the Nokias,
the Razors, Motorola.
Oh my God, the Razors! I hated people with the Razors.
Yeah, I mean that was Blackberries were that was my phone, the Blackberry.
Yeah. Yeah, the Blackberries were the smartphones back then. I remember that.
The nice thing about the Razors or any flip phone really is it just gave you a really good way to like hang up on someone. You know what I mean? Like just snap. Just
when you're mad at someone, I'm done with you. I don't want to talk to you. Smack.
You can't do that. Just slap.
I
don't want to talk to you no more.
Those were classic. Well, what about like rotary phones then? Like back in the day, right? Like you could just put the phone back on the whatever. What was it called? Like
rotary phones.
Yeah, rotary. But when you put it on the
hook,
the hook, like the receiver. I don't know what it was called.
Was this? Man, you guys.
Yeah,
you had the cable, the long stretched out cable.
I mean, I still had like the yeah, I mean, I think we still growing up in my house, we still had a phone and hooked up to whatever the thing is. The line till maybe I was in, I think I was still in high school. My parents still had like a phone because I remember I was in high school and I was still picking up the phone.
Yeah.
So it's like, I remember I worked hard for my first cell phone at 16. My parents didn't give it to me. I got it myself.
Right.
And then like now I think about teenagers now and how they're so entitled. Well, I mean, my child is entitled, right? So she wants like everything handed to her.
Yeah.
And it's like, she'll pull the card on like, well, you had me, you should give it, I didn't choose to be here. And she uses that line on me and I'm like, bro, I didn't choose to be here either, but I got everything I had to get. My parents didn't hand me anything. Except the car, unfortunately. Yeah, my dad did give me a car. But it was like a $2,000 Euro Illumina 92. It was like this,
Euro
Illumina. Yeah, do you remember those?
No.
Yeah, I had like, I don't know what kind of car. Someone Google it, Euro Illumina, so he could see what it looks like. But, and was it a Euro? No. And then I had a Pontiac. No, I had a Pontiac too, a green Pontiac. So I was like... they were like little beater cars, They weren't like the nicest cars, right?
I drove a Dodge Neon.
A Dodge Neon. Yeah, I had one of those in green. But then, so I looked like a thug in the street, Yeah, I'll look for a different one. But for sure I had a Pontiac, and then I know it was called a Euro Illumina. So that looked, and it was white. And it was, interesting. So my dad would give me, like, beater cars, right? It was like, here. But then it was like, why would you do that? Now I'm in 26th Street, and I shouldn't be out here. Like, I shouldn't be cruising in these neighborhoods. Chevy, is that it?
Oh, Chevy Lumina.
Is that what it is? It's not a Chevy.
Yeah, it's a Chevy Lumina.
No, it's not. It wasn't. Okay, I'm not arguing with guys. I'm done.
AK at 2060, that was a Rammer.
That was a Rammer, literally. Like, oh my gosh. Anyway, so we're talking about culture, guys. If anyone's listening, this is the culture that we lived in and that we dealt with.
Back in our day. And I remember like those shirts. Now that you reminded me, I forgot how it was so popular to have those like airbrushed shirts with
in high school.
Looney Tunes on them.
Yeah, Looney.
They're like Taz with the crisscross.
Yeah.
Flip backwards.
Yeah, those. I don't know. I just know that I used to go to Mega Mall for them. I never had a person that would make them. I would go to the Mega Mall that was
Right.
in Logan Square. That's no longer there. Did you?
Um,
What part of the town did you grow up in? Cicero, right?
Yeah, we there was Casa Blanca was the flea market on Cicero and 31st, I believe it was.
Oh, I don't know that. I've never been to that flea market.
It's not there anymore. But
Okay,
yeah, that's
Casa-
where the airbrushing
That's
happened.
where you would do all that stuff. Oh, see, I only knew like the buyer's market that was on Division and what was that? Division and Pulaski, I want to say it was over there. That
See,
was
that's the north side. I didn't go up there.
you're still kind of north side. Yeah, Cicero. Is
No,
Cicero
that's
considered
southwest.
south?
Southwest.
That's considered south.
Yeah. Anything south of like 290.
And oh,
290 is kind of the
oh, I guess you're right. That is the dividing point. Okay, I guess it didn't. Okay, I guess you're south. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Okay, so you also graduated from Illinois Media School, right?
Mhm.
So what year? Take us to that. Why did you go to Illinois Media School? What was that decision?
Yeah, so I had left AT&T to go to work for another telecommunication. I wanted to try something different, right? But it's hard to kind of leave an industry when you have that much experience. That's where everybody wants you for.
Sure.
And I actually, I don't know if you guys remember when the Marquee Network launched, the Cubs Network. It was like 2019-ish.
Oh, Marquise. Yes.
The Marquee
okay.
Network.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so the Cubs were going through this whole transition, and I had my son at the time was he must have been like 10, 11 years old, and he was trying to like tell me what he wanted to do, and every job was like every decision that he wanted was based on how much he was gonna make, you know. And I had this conversation with him. I was like, dude, find out what you like doing, and then just do it the best you can, and you'll be able to make money with it.
Sure.
He's like, well, what did you want to do when you were younger? And I was like, oh, man, I would have loved to play for the Cubs, but I was not a baseball player, so I would have loved to have been a cameraman for the Cubs.
Oh, okay.
And he goes, so why didn't you do that? And, you know, I gave him an adult answer or whatever, right, so he can leave. But it really got me thinking, like, man, why am I not a cameraman for the Cubs? You know, like, what could I have done? What should I have done? Like, how could I have gotten to that?
This is deep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So at the time, I don't even know what I was doing. I think I had just gotten. I had like 5 Boost mobile stores. I had gone into my own. I wanted to do my own thing with telecommunications. So I had Boost mobile stores, and I think I had just finished closing them up. I forgot what I was doing, but I quit my job. No. I came to Illinois Media School. I went for a tour. I was listening to The Score, and I heard a commercial. So I booked an appointment, went to the downtown campus on State Street, and like they told me classes started on Friday, so I quit.
You just did it.
I just quit.
You quit?
I quit.
Oh wow.
I didn't have a backup plan. I didn't have like a big savings account. I didn't like my old 401k to kind of like fall back on if needed, which found out real quickly it was needed. But yeah, I just didn't want to do what I was doing anymore. I was tired of the corporate life. I wanted to be in the creative space, you know. I never did it for the money, clearly. But my first couple instructors, I realized that being in this industry, they were doing it's all project based, right? It's all project based. So it was about getting clients. It was about building relationships, which, you know, I had already kind of learned from being in corporate.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, because I didn't, you know, have school became my number one priority. Man, I was working a bunch of different, like side jobs, photography jobs. Like I was just doing everything that I could within that field to try to make ends meet. So yeah, it was the best thing I could have done.
Just leaving corporate, going to school.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to assume, because you're the breadwinner, at that time you were married?
No, I was already divorced.
You were already divorced, but you have your
I have 2 boys, yeah.
right? So I'm sure that was a lot of pressure, right? To like, I need to generate income. I need to
Absolutely,
make money.
yeah.
So you started getting gigs right off the bat, or what
Well,
did you?
no. So the first thing I did was I lowered all my expenses to the bare minimum, right? So my mortgage, my electric, like I canceled Netflix, I canceled all my subscriptions, everything. So it was just my absolute lowest cost of living. And then I was doing Uber, just trying to make ends meet, really. And I took advantage of every internship opportunity that came up. So I think I got close to about 500 intern hours.
Wow.
My time at IMS. But one of the things that kind of stood out from the feedback that I got was from the very beginning, although I might have not known how to do something, like everything I did was like well done. Right?
Sure.
It was, I took time to accomplish every project that I had to do. And then some of the instructors themselves like started hiring me like for photography stuff. They'd be
Look
like,
at
yo,
that.
pay you $50 to do this, or, and it was just because of the quality of work I was producing.
Wow. Do you guys hear that? I mean, I'm sitting here like, that's awesome. I mean, you kind of just took a shot on yourself, right? You were like, I'm just going to take a shot and see where this goes. And not a lot of people can do stuff like that.
No, it was very intimidating. One, I was turning 40, and I'm going back to school. Everyone's a lot younger than me. And then I remember the first time someone put a camera in my face, and they were like, all right, introduce yourself. And I don't like being in front of the camera, and everyone before me was like, yo, what up? This is Da Niro. Like, they were like very,
Oh, so like, much energy.
Yeah. And I'm
like, shut up.
My name's Carlos.
No, just joking.
So it was just, it got me, I was uncomfortable a lot.
Really?
Throughout that whole process, yeah.
So you force yourself to be uncomfortable.
Yes. I mean, I don't know about force. I put myself in a situation.
You put yourself in those situations, which I think it's cool. I mean, and it's cool that I'm hearing this because, like, it was your child that inspired you, right? Your child is the one that inspired you to go back.
Right.
You kind of leave corporate America. You're managing how many stores?
Oh, man. Well, when I left, I was doing B2B sales. I was doing well over 6 figures.
Oh, so you just really said, I'm leaving this money to pursue a passion because you want to be a cameraman for the Cubs.
Yeah.
Essentially, that's where your mind was at that time, right? Yep. So, I mean, I think that's really courageous, brave, right? I think it's an admirable. So, I mean, because those are the entrepreneurship stories that I like, right? Where people are just like, I'm betting on myself and I'm going to go out there and do what I got to do. Yeah. But what we're going to do real quick is we're going to take a quick short break. And when we come back, we're going to learn more about, I know that I wanted to hear more about Fabre Studio and the things that you have going on, the things that you're working on. And as well as you have your own podcast as well, right? Mm-hmm. What's it called?
Well, I have a whole network.
Oh, yeah, you have your own network. Yeah. Fancy. No, just joking. So wait, what is it? But you do have a show yourself. You have a network, but you have a show yourself.
Well, we have 4 shows in them, so I'm in one of them all the time, and then we kind of alternate.
Okay.
So I could be on 4 different shows.
So what's the network called?
Chingon Deportes Network.
Chingon Deportes Network. Okay. So I'm excited. He's going to tell us more about this. So you guys make sure you stay tuned. And when we come back, we're going to learn more about Carlos and his story and what he's working on. So don't touch that dial. All right, we're back, and we are talking to Carlos from, the creative behind Medina Production. Say the
Close
name.
enough.
Okay, say the name of the company.
Medina Visual Productions.
I was so close. Medina Visual Productions. Last time I think I said something in one of my videos. You were like, "That's not the name of my company." I was like, "Oh, darn it!"
You said Carlos Photography or something.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, darn it," And I was like trying to come up with this video just on top of my head. I was like, "Oh, why did I say that?" And then also you said it's Fabre Studios, right? You're also part of that,
Yep.
right? So tell us a little bit about what Fabre Studios. I know that we have interns there from Illinois Media School working with you. What's Fabre Studios? What do you guys do there?
Yeah. So it's funny how it worked out. We were doing a fashion show for SAIC, School of Art Institute in Chicago, and one of the students told us that their dad had a studio in River North.
Okay.
So we went to go check it out, and he's a little older, and he wanted to get out of the game.
Okay.
So we actually worked out a deal where we took over the studio.
Okay.
One of the most exciting days of my life. I was so excited when it happened. I was like, I walked in and like the smell of studio. I don't know if that makes sense. It's like
the smell of studio.
Yeah, like lights on, like electricity. I don't know what it's a
distinct, like when you smell like burning of the fuses or something of like.
Yeah, there's a distinct scent that you get, kind of like when you go back to school and you smell like your old classroom type of deal.
That's weird.
Yeah.
No, just joking.
No, it is kind of weird. For those 3-4 people that can relate, they know what I'm talking about.
No, I'm joking with you. I actually know exactly what you're talking about. You're talking about like the old, like the smell of the wood and like because I went to CPS, so I just remember like if you go there, you kind of smell like the grain, the wood,
CPS, that's mold.
No. Yeah, that is probably mold, asbestos. God knows what was in those. Even books, right? Like I like the smell of libraries or like old houses. Right. So I get what you're saying. I understand.
Yeah. So studios tend to have like this scent. I don't know. Anyways, when I walked in, it was like, man, it was amazing that it was mine. Like it's still kind of weird to say, but one of my partners there, his name is Frankie Fabre, who was named after the studio. We were going to change the name, but he had already built a presence, and he has some name recognition, so there was no sense of reinventing the wheel.
Sure. So
we just let it ride.
I just saw him too, like a week ago, like in this building.
Oh yeah, his dentist is here.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I just saw him. I was like, oh hi.
Like, who are you?
Yeah.
No, so the one thing about Frankie is that he has a really cool client base, right? So he's really into fashion, hip hop, and stuff like that. So we've had A$AP Rocky, we've had Dane Dash at the studio, Jerry Lorenzo, Logan Paul. We've gone out to New York to interview Rich Paul. Fat Joe, like it's been really a cool experience to have access to the studio like this, and the amount of people that just
Do you get starstruck?
Not even a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, it's not necessarily starstruck, but like we had we were doing a TV show, and oh my god, I forgot his first name. This guy, he's a boxer, Griffith. I forgot his first name. I don't want to just make it up, but his last name is Griffith. He's a boxer from Chicago. He's retired, but he's the first one to beat Roy Jones Jr.
Okay.
So he was in studio walking around. Now he has like a white beard. I didn't know who he was. And when he got and started getting interviewed and talking about it, like I actually was like, oh, I saw that fight. Oh, I know who that is. Like I got excited to meet him in particular. And I can't remember his first name. But like when I met Logan Paul, I mean, whatever,
Yeah.
They're a bunch of frat boys.
Yeah.
That come in, but Montel Griffith, thank you. I was gonna say Michael, but I knew that wasn't it.
It's always good when you have a team here that could help you with when we forget words and stuff. Like, wait, what's
Yes.
that word?
Yeah, but the one thing about Logan Paul's team that I really appreciated how is, one, they got there like 3 hours early. We got ourselves situated. I mean, everything was set and ready to go. We hit record before Logan even walked in.
Oh, very nice.
Right, so it was like his team was on point. They were precise. They were professional, and you know, it kind of reminds you of what professionalism looks like, right?
Nice.
Like to be able to do something at a really high level.
Yeah.
Yeah, Melissa Ford's team was the same way. We've had quite a few people come in, kind of set up shop.
That's nice.
Yeah,
That's good. And I was just curious because I know there's a lot of people, like, I try to tell the students all the time, you better not fangirl. I swear. Like, and you know, when you're around people and just because they have a little bit of clout or a little bit of status, don't get all like, oh my God. Like one time I took students to the radio station, right? In the winter. And I was like watching them and I saw how they were just so, I don't want to say the word. I just don't want my students to ever come off as desperate. Right. Yeah. And I'm like, no, we're too cool for that. We're not doing that. Like they're going to come to you because everyone, these celebrities or high status people are used to like people always like groveling at them and giving them attention and all that stuff. Right. And like, they're all starstruck. I think they'll admire someone that doesn't care about them. Like, you know, they'll be more like, oh, they treat me like a human being, right? Like I'm a normal person, right? And I think that sometimes people forget, like, they're still a human. They're still normal. They're going to die just like you're going to die. You know, we're
yeah, but they go to a better place.
No, I mean, where's that?
I don't know.
A better cemetery? You know, like, I don't get it. What does that mean? Like, they get jewels on their coffin? Like, whoop-de-doo, you know? I mean, but at the end of the day, we all are inevitably going to pass on, right? So in my mind, it's like, treat them like humans. And, you know, I think just because you have some status or clout, like, don't fangirl. And that's what I try to teach my students all the time. Like, no, you're a professional. You're here to work. Right. You're not here to get signatures or get you none of that, you know? Yeah,
we have, so depending on who's coming into the studio, if we have a closed set, like we can't bring anybody in, right? Everyone has to be accounted for. The people on the team have to be accounted for. And it's to protect them from exactly that, you know? So those restrictions weren't for everybody. So I actually took my son, you know, to intern. While Logan Paul was there, because he was all about Logan Paul.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, man, can I ask him for his autograph? I'm like, if you catch him outside the studio, like walking around or whatever, go for it. And he had his opportunity and he chickened out.
Oh no.
Completely chickened out. Yeah.
I guess if you have some perks and you can do that, well then that's fine, right? Like
he's 17.
Use your perks. Yeah, use your perks. I could see that like once in a while.
But you know one of the things about the industry that we're in, and is that when you get older and you have more experience, that feeling is rare. Like you start getting accustomed to seeing, you know, celebrities or people with a little bit of clout. You know, it starts becoming repetitive. So when I see people get excited, like when I see people go into the studio and are like, yo, I want to do this, or this is amazing. Like, it reminds me of what I felt like the first time I walked into that studio. I see it every day, you know, like I'm working with the same camera. So sometimes it kind of gets redundant. Yeah.
Well, it's your day to day. It's your norm.
Right.
Right.
So when people come in and they have that level of excitement, it reminds me of how cool it is what I'm doing. Yeah. You know? So, yeah, I don't know about like fangirling, you know, like, but
I'm the most like, if I like you, you won't know I like you. I become mean. So like I'm that person that is like no one will ever know if I like you or not.
You were that girl in grammar school just beating up boys you like.
I used to whoop them. I'm just like,
I really like you.
No, I wasn't that aggressive. No, I wouldn't beat up on boys, but I was the girl that, and I guess maybe because I was raised with like bullying parents. Mexicans are bullies, you know, like culturally, like my mom like I think in her side of the family, they're always joking around and laughing and making fun of you. And I almost picked that up as a like, this is endearment, right?
Right.
This is like, so I like to banter and joke around and like tease people, but I can't read that, but yeah, just say but you know that, so to me, it's like, I don't really give people attention like that regardless, right? I rather be mean to you.
I'd rather be mean. That's good to know.
That's
Like,
just
no,
joking.
she really likes you, man.
No, let's change that. No, that's not true, guys. I'm just joking. I'm really kind.
When you don't like somebody.
When I don't like somebody. If I'm nice to you, I don't like you. That's terrible. They're all laughing. No, let's go back. But I like the fact that, and I think that's good for the students to even pick up, right? Like, don't, when you are around, because they're gonna be exposed, right, to God knows who, you know, and they might be around like you have Chris, who's here helping me production, and he's one of your interns. He's doing stuff at Chicago Fire now, right?
Chicago Fire, yeah.
I mean, so that's exciting, right? So it's like you're a 19-year-old, 19, right? 19-year-old kid, and you're there and you're excited and you're interviewing like players. Like, how do you keep your cool and keep yourself professional at all times, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's another thing that, you know, it's I like the fact that we're able to give those experience. I'm able to share that because we have 2 or 3 people that can go to the games to record, and you know, every now and then, you know, we have families or we have other productions or something other to do. So the fact to have somebody like Chris that's picked up so much from what we're doing and can fulfill that role has been a huge benefit for us. So I'm glad we're able to provide him with that experience.
And I think I appreciate that because sometimes they just don't know, right? So like you said, gotta throw them in studios. You did so many internship hours, and now look at what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
You have a network, right? So say again, what's the network, and give us a little bit more detail on it.
Yeah, so we had this, you know, we had the studio, right? And our main way of making money is obviously renting the studio out. So unfortunately, it's not rented out all the time. So, you know, there's time where it's like, man, I have the studio, like, and I have so many ideas that I want to create. And I told the guys, I was like, man, we should make like a Barstool Sports network, you know? And, you know, we can have a bunch of podcasts with different sports topics and this, that, and the other. And but I wanted to do it in Spanish or Spanglish. You know, what we speak in the streets. And you know, just a way to be able to communicate, to be the bridge from the sports teams to the Latino or the Latino community. So we had an open house, and we had a couple people come in from Latino Radio Network, and they wanted to use our studio to interview Spanish-speaking players from the Cubs and Sox. Well, as we were kind of working out that deal, I think they got sold off. The company got sold off, and they got let go.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So one of the things that we talked about, we're like, yo, with your connections, because they still had connections to all the sports teams. They had connections to sponsors, and we had the studio. So we're like, yo, let's create a network and, you know, see where it goes. And, yeah, we launched in October, I believe. We did a bunch of podcasts for the Bears. Clearly, the Bears had a great run, so we were able to do a couple live shows from different venues. Nice. And but yeah, on top of that, we have a huge focus on soccer with the World Cup coming up. So we have a show called Sazón Futbolero. The baseball one is Rumbo Octubre. We have one where it's just kind of general sports talk. And since there's 8 of us in the group, we'll rotate, and we're called Los Chingones.
Okay.
Why
would you not?
And then the Bulls one that we do, where we actually have media passes to go to the Bulls practices and do reports, is called Entre Cuernos. So those are the shows that we currently have. We're looking to expand. We have a couple of people, kind of constantly pitching us different types of shows for like wrestling, things of that nature. So, but there's a lot of cost and there's a lot of time to produce these shows.
Yeah. People don't realize how much it is to produce a show or put something out there, and the energy and the effort. And I tell students, like, if you're going to do this, do it because you love it.
Yeah.
Don't do it just because you want to do it. Do it because you love it.
Yeah. Yeah. And Chris will tell you, I mean, there's been times where we're walking out of there close to midnight, after we're done filming a few shows. So
is that breaking like internship policies? No, I'm just playing. I'm just joking. Just joking. I'm just joking. You have free will. I get it. You got to get the job done, which makes makes a lot of sense. And you went to media school. You clearly you understand why you're doing what you're doing, right? And why you have your studio and you have your shows, right? I think you have to really love it and be consistent with it, and you've seen how it's grown, right? So far. I mean, how long have you been doing the network now?
Well, the network started in October. I've had the studio since we're coming up on a year.
Okay.
Yeah. But even like before then, we were doing fashion shows. I was doing fashion photography, sports photography, event photography.
Yeah.
Like, photography was really my thing.
Oh, no. And you did great, by the way. For my book cover, those pictures of the ladies, you were the one that took care of it and edited. And I think it was a great experience for the ladies to work with your photographer.
Yeah.
They loved it. And you were, so I want to make sure I thank you for even supporting.
Oh, absolutely.
My event.
Shout out to Mario for going out there and covering for me.
Yeah, and then you took care of it even at the book launch. You were there supporting. Mm-hmm. So I really appreciate the support that you guys gave. So if you guys are looking for a photographer, I did see you had a graduation package, $199. I was like, darn, I liked it. I was like, I don't know if I could still do these, right? I just saw that post like yesterday. So you do like photography also for graduations, events, right?
Yeah. So I've done quite a few quinceañeras, weddings, I mean, those pay the bills, right? But photography is my first passion.
That's your first love.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I go shoot photography and just for myself. Like I'll go walking around, do some street photography.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. That's kind of how it clears my mind. The thing about it that I really love is, understanding lighting, right? And when you want to get a shot, understanding how your camera works and what adjustments you have to make in order to get the shot that you want, and kind of thinking about how you're going to edit it. So it's like a whole thought process, and it really just makes me focus and lock into what I'm doing, makes me forget, all the noise and, bills and all that other stuff.
Oh, that's nice. So you really enjoy photography in general, which is great because, we need people like you. Right. I think it wasn't until I started like working here at the school that my creative mind started coming back. Right. Wanting to do reels or wanting to do, videos. Right. I've never really been like the photography side. I'm more like the video side or reel side or social media. But it's just being around creatives all day that make you want to do stuff like this.
Oh, absolutely.
It's absolutely, I forgot about this. Right. Especially if you're like always corporate or business, it's a nice like breakaway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things that I love about having the studio is every now and then we'll get people coming in, just to be there. Right. So some of the most productive days was days where someone would come visit and we're just sitting around a table chopping it up and, hey man, we should do a short film. Yeah. What are you thinking? And, next thing you know, we're in the middle of coming up with this grand idea. It happened the other day. We have this guy, one of our friends, Kenneth. He's a director. He came to the studio. We were talking, and now we're working on a short film.
Oh, look at that!
Frankie is, although he directs a lot of the stuff that's been going on. This is going to be like his first short film. So I'm going to be the director of photography. So. We're gonna be rotating different roles, and a lot of that is important because you want to build chemistry with the team that you're working with from a production standpoint. And anybody will attest to it. Like I'm sure Chris can attest to how choppy it was, like the first day trying to integrate them and trying to get people into different roles. But once you get people knowing how to set up a camera, how to properly gaff, how to properly light, how to properly do certain things, it's like clockwork. You know, everybody just kind of does what they need to do, and it allows you to be able to really just handle quality control at that point.
Yeah, and I think that's where your managerial skills come in, right? Because not a lot of people have that mindset of like, well, how do I make this team function and work together, right?
Yeah.
So like the fact that you did work in corporate, you did manage stores, and now you can come into this creative space and be able to be like, okay, how do we make this team work together? Because that's management. Like you got to learn how to manage teams.
No, absolutely. You know, one of the biggest things is that you know, I get up and I do it. Like, you know, I get up if a camera needs to get fixed or this, like I'll fix it. I'll just do it, and other people are paying attention. So like, before I make a change, like I'll say, okay, look, you see how this camera's a little bit off, right? So we're gonna go ahead and fix it, you know, and you know, I teach people how to fix it, and I try to explain what I'm looking for, we're looking at, and then people start kind of having the same vision. And it kind of correlates, but it changes from project to project. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Which I think it's awesome that you're doing what you're doing and how you're doing. I don't know. I mean, we're creatives, right? I'm a creative too. I would like to think I am a creative, right? Or a media person, but you know, it's admirable that how you're taking people, teaching them, coaching them. I mean, I see how he's on it, you know, even Chris as an intern. So that ability is not easy. Like there's some, as I've been working with different employers or different people in this industry, not everybody has that gift. I'm just saying, right? Yeah. And you're like, oh, you are not a good manager. Oh, you're not a good employer. Maybe I shouldn't work with you anymore because you're going to abuse my students, right? And not trying
to have them working till midnight,
you know. Yeah, right. Slave shop over here. No, but at the end of the day, I think that's a skill even in itself. Like you can be the best creative, you can put all this great content, but if you don't know how to manage teams or put things together, how far is it really going to go?
Yeah, no, that's a key component to it. You know, I try to run a real. It's funny because we can joke around and keep everything kind of light, but I think that if I'm producing and I lock in, I think everyone notices. Oh shit, he's locked in. You know, it's time to get to work.
Yeah.
Did you beat that?
No, he's gonna have to edit that.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Sorry, Chris. But yeah, it's just a matter of, you know, once you lock in and once everyone kind of sees you lock in, it's like, oh, you know, he's on it now. Let's all lock in. Right?
Yeah.
And being able to kind of just look at people and they know you're locked in. Also understanding like when you're in production, a lot of times you're paying by the hour. So if we're really on a time crunch, I'll let people know. I'm like, man, I'm going to give you all my please and thank yous right now. Because there's no please and thank you when you're in a time crunch.
When you're in a time
like, yo, get this done. Hey, I need this done. Hey, get this camera here.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? Like it has to be. You can't take things personally.
And and that's true. You can't take anything personal. So if anyone wants to reach out to you, find you, or work with you, where would they go?
Yeah, you could check me out on one of my multiple IGs.
One of many of my IGs.
Many IGs. So I'm at Carlos Medina VP.
Okay.
So that's my main account. You can find us on YouTube, Medina Visual Productions. I've been loading up some of my previous works. You guys can check out what I've been doing. And then definitely go subscribe and check out Chingon Deportes Network. You know, it's not just me. These guys are putting in a lot of work, creating great content. My business partner, Noe, Frankie, it's all them.
Awesome. So thank you so much. And I have you in the book. So your name is even in my book. So if you guys get my book, you know, he's mentioned in there. But thank you so much, Carlos, for being on with us. And thank you to the team for putting this together. And thank you to our WRMN for supporting the Wise Coffee Chat Show. So see you guys next week. God bless.